Welcome. Shemini, Shishi. As opposed to the last 2 days where the aliyahs were short, today's aliyah is huge. It has 32 psukim, and it's huge because it begins to discuss literally what we call the laws of kashrus. It begins to mention all the animals and all the simonim for what is kosher and what is not kosher, the impurity of animals, the purity of animals, and it becomes fascinating. It's fascinating to me to go through the animals and look at each one and enumerate each one as something beyond the scope of what we can do, but it's something to really study. But the beauty is the exactitude with which the Torah mentions these animals and the knowledge, obviously, of Hashem, but the knowledge of the Torah to impart exactly the species of why you can't eat them. Doesn't tell us. As much as all of Karbanos, it didn't give us one reason. Why is there this? Why is there that? So we begin to struggle to try to figure out the laws of kashrus, and we have the Monei HaMitzvos, the Sefer Chinuch, and etc., Rabbi Yonah, who try to give reasons for mitzvos. But you see, they all struggle, and like the Ramban explains, okay, some say you shouldn't look for reasons. It's a choki, Hashem said, and that's what it is, and that's what it is. Yet still a davar reiku, it's not empty. Every generation should try to figure out why are certain mitzvahs in the way they are, and you'll do it. That's not why we do it because Hashem said so. But here, it's impinging on the person's diet. I might like something. The Torah says this you can't eat. But what's interesting here is with each one of the species of animals, we're talking about birds, we're talking about creeping animals, we're talking about mammals. With each one, the Torah gives you signs, and both the Rambam and the Sefer Chinuch point something interesting. The checking out with each of the species, with the fish, with the birds, is the mitzvah saseh, which means when you look at something, if it's kosher or not, that is a mitzvah. We go shopping and we look at things. Now, granted, we don't buy animals and shech them. Maybe some of us could do that. We walk into a store, but okay, we know, but what's the first thing we do? So it's almost like unbelievable. We pick up something and we look at the label. Well, big deal, I look at the label for myself. But not realizing we're fulfilling a mitzvah aseh. You have to check out the simonim of whatever you're eating, and the Torah repeats it. At the same time, it tells you not to eat. So meaning if I eat it, that's a los aseh. The aseh is to check and to make sure that what I'm eating is kosher. So the play back and forth between aseh and los aseh is kind of strange. I pick up the item and I look at it and it tells me, oh, it's a kosher animal. I can eat it. It's a kosher piece of chocolate. I can eat it. So I just fulfill the mitzvah. Then I go ahead and I stay away from something that's not kosher. I fulfill the mitzvah. It's just like something we don't realize, and that's part of why I point this really out. And then just to end off, because we're almost out of time for this one, is the concept that these actually, the way the pasuk ends, Eileha tameim lochem, these things are impure for you, implying that if you eat from them, there's a sense of impurity you bring to yourself. And many of the Achronim have a line they repeat, and Chassam Sofer is the one who made it big, and then you see it even in Mus's farm, and even Mesilas Yesharim mentions it in a different way. It's called Timtum Halev. The idea of ingesting food that's kosher, Ki Adam hu nefesh, it enters your bloodstream, it eventually touches the neshama. The food has to be kosher. Eating non-kosher food is metamtem et halev, whatever that ends up meaning. But suddenly you're beginning, there's something impure in you. And where that goes and what it can do, I don't know, but it's something to keep in mind. It's the kosher, it's not kosher, yes, kosher. It has an effect on a person. It changes the person.